Ever since my daughter's first birthday, my husband started sneaking out at 2 a.m. every night to sort through our trash with latex gloves and a flashlight between his teeth. I watched him carefully select specific items from our bins and bury them in metal boxes in our backyard, creating dead patches of grass that smelled like decomposition. When I finally followed him, one night I discovered he was collecting our baby's dirty diapers, holding them up to his face and taking deep long breaths with his eyes closed like he used to look when we were intimate. Ever since my daughter's first birthday, my husband started sneaking out of bed at 2 a.m. every single night. I'd hear him go between the backyard and basement, routinely returning at 4:30 a.m., smelling like outside, like garbage and something else I couldn't place my finger on. When I'd casually ask how he slept, he'd kiss my forehead and say, "Like a baby, honey," but his eyes would dart away. Guilty. My sister thought I was losing it. Maybe he's just stressed about being a new dad. Men process things differently. I started watching him through our bedroom window. He'd check our neighbors' windows first, making sure no one was watching, before creeping to our trash bins. He'd go straight to our trash and start sorting through it with the focus of a surgeon. He'd put on latex gloves, surgical ones that snapped in the quiet night. Through the window, I watched him carefully sorting through our bins with a small flashlight clenched between his teeth, selecting specific items, examining them like evidence at a crime scene. When he found what he wanted, his whole body would change, shoulders relaxing, breath coming faster. He'd place these packages carefully into Ziploc bags, labeling each one with dates and numbers. Then came the part that made my blood run cold. He'd walk to the back corner of our yard with a small shovel. I watched him dig up a metal box he'd bury there, place the new packages inside, and bury it again every night, adding to his underground collection. Once I cracked the window and heard him whisper as he dug, "This one's perfect, still fresh." His voice was thick with something that made my skin crawl. The next morning, I pointed to the exact spot where I'd watched him dig. The grass was dead in a perfect rectangle, and the smell coming from that patch made me gag, sweet and rotten, like something decomposing. What happened there, and why does it smell so bad? His face went white. "Raccoons," he said quickly. "They're burying dead animals. I have to dig them out before it attracts more pests." But raccoons don't bury things in perfect rectangles, and they don't come back to the same spot every night. "Maybe we should call animal control," I suggested. He grabbed my arm. "Number, I'll handle it. The smell is just decomposition natural. I'll put lime down." He bought $300 worth of pest control that day, desperate to explain the freshly disturbed earth. Spread enough lime to burn the grass in a 10-foot radius. But the smell got worse, and new rectangles of dead grass appeared each morning, like graves in a miniature cemetery. Our backyard was dying in patches, and my husband was the one killing it. Things got more suspicious one day. After his usual routine, he slipped back into bed, and a smell hit me before he even got under the covers. He reeked like a public bathroom, like sewage. When he turned toward me in his sleep, the moonlight hit his face. There was something dark smeared on his nose. I leaned closer and nearly gagged. It was shit. Actual feces on his face. My husband had been doing something with actual human waste. That's when I knew I had to follow him. I had to see exactly what the F my husband was doing with those carefully selected packages. The next night, I crept downstairs and watched from the kitchen window with a clear view. I don't know how else to say this without sounding completely insane, but what I saw was my husband carefully pulling dirty diapers from our trash, our daughter's diapers. He'd hold each one up to his flashlight, toss back the ones that were just wet, and keep searching until he found ones with solid waste. Then he'd peel them open like sacred artifacts and just smell them. Deep, long inhales with his eyes closed, his whole body relaxing with each breath. He'd stand there for 10-15 minutes, breathing in our baby's poop with this look of pure bliss on his face, the same expression he used to have when we were intimate. Between diapers, he'd make notes in that little notebook, rating them by quality. The best ones went into Ziploc bags, then into the ground. I watched him dig up a buried container, add tonight's collection, and carefully cover it again. My husband had turned our backyard into an underground archive of